As the original industrial nation, Britain long ago discovered that being clever is highly lucrative. There's a rule in the modern economy: you make the most money by being first, by doing things that others can't do. We've made ourselves rich that way. A good example: the British company that transformed the world's skylines and made billions in the process.
Cut the other one out,
yeah. It's about 200 metres, 240 metres or so to the top of the building. Wonderful view, wonderful view. The company that made the windows for this skyscraper tells you why innovation is such a big earner. One discovery goes a very long way. It can be replicated again and again. Now, this building has 3,960 panes of glass, and they weigh 350,000 kilograms. The glass was made by the St. Helens firm Pilkingtons. Not only was this glass made in this country, but the process, the wonderfully innovative process which allowed this glass to be made, was developed in this country too. It changed everything. Virtually all skyscrapers are made using it. It's called the float glass process, and Pilkingtons invented it in 1952. It was theirs and theirs alone. And it took them from just being one of the pack to being well out in front.
St. Helens is the greatest centre of glassmaking in the world. So let's begin with this kind of glass and tell the romantic story of one of the greatest industrial inventions of the age, the float glass process.
Before float, glass panes were made by pouring molten glass onto a plate. But there was a problem. The glass produced was rough and uneven. It had to be ground and polished by giant industrial machines. And this process was hugely expensive. After the Second World War, the demand for housing and cars created a massive need for glass. It was a race for manufacturers worldwide to develop a cheaper production process. In 1947, Pilkingtons found the first essential ingredient in the creation of a great innovation: a genius, engineer Alistair Pilkington. Oddly, he wasn't a close relative, but had the same surname. He experimented with the idea of producing perfectly flat, clear glass by floating it on molten tin. No one had made it work before. Early results suggested the method had promise, but converting this into an effective industrial process was an immense challenge. You can see the scale of his ambition by walking down the float line today. This bit is the Pilkington bit, the clever bit.
That's the float glass bit, yeah. So if you want to have a look through, Evan, you can see now, you can see the ribbon coming through.
Oh yes,
and you can see the nerve actually just
so the stuff rippling on the top is glass.
It's glass, yes, yeah.
Then came the second ingredient for innovation: money. In 1955, after only 3 years' development, Pilkingtons invested in a full-scale production line. It was a massive financial risk, soaking up all the company's profits month after month. Stand back. You need to stand back. That's the flame's going to come out.
There you go.
Right.
Okay.
Is there a good end to put first?
So they just stand to one side and just...
A year after they started their test line running, they still weren't producing saleable glass from their molten tin process, and it was costing Pilkingtons a fortune.
Okay, just say, there you go, it's gone now. That'll melt its way in.
It was the third ingredient that created perfect glass.
Wonderful.
Luck.
A certain critical part of the plant broke, and this changed its shape, and by this means we suddenly, to our surprise, found ourselves making our first saleable glass.
The whole section of the line of grinding and polishing, it could all go. You can see the glass here just comes out absolutely flat and smooth. After 7 years' toil and £7 million, equivalent to 130 million today, Alistair Pilkington achieved his goal, beating all competitors to making better, cheaper glass. So did that initial £7 million investment, which seemed like a lot of money in 1950s prices, did it pay off? Well, of course it did. Because this was A, so valuable, and B, no one else could do it, Pilkington didn't just have an innovation that created float glass, they had an innovation that generated enormous returns. Innovation pays. For its innovation, Pilkington made billions of pounds as other companies paid to use the technology. Today, the company's part of a Japanese-owned glass giant, but it continues to make glass here, to do research here, and it generates plenty of earnings for UK citizens. And you can jump on it, can you?
Yeah, yeah.
Can jump?
Jump, yeah, no problems.
Oh, yeah. Seems to be safe.